Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Glad you stopped by to check this out. So, big profits or base hits? Um, Boy, what a subject to have to cover, right? I mean, we all got into trading for one thing, right? Make money. And obviously, we want to, we want to change our lives, or we want a more comfortable life, or we want to secure a better future for ourselves in later ages. Um, So, you know, to do any of that, you kind of want to make as much money as you can, right? Um, and I think, in trading, that that kind of becomes um, a little dangerous because the upside is unlimited, right? I mean, with the market, as long as you trade well, you can make as much as you want, or at least that's the way we think. The problem is there's a lot of factors in there that aren't considered sometimes. Um, I mean, what's your account size? Um, do you have a 50K prop firm account? Well, I mean that's not a 50K account. It's actually a $2,000 account. Can you expect to make, $1,000 a day on that account? No. I mean, you can't expect it. It can happen. But you know, you have to take a lot into consideration when you're looking at that. And I've traded $300,000 accounts with 6,000 in drawdown, and I've traded 50K accounts with 2,000 in drawdown, and each has to be treated differently, and the expectations have to change with each of those accounts. Um, I will say for me personally, um, I'm okay with the amount, if I'm sticking with the amount of risk for the size of account. Um, if I'm trying to make 750 to $1,500 a day in a 50K account, that's somewhat stressful because, you know, on the better setups, you need to oversize uh, your trade. Put in a little bit more size than you really should be putting in for a $2,000 drawdown, even though it's a really, really good setup. And that, there's a lot of stress involved in that because if if you know risk management, and you should well enough, you understand the moment you put that trade on that you are at risk of losing more than you're comfortable losing in that account, and that's just not a good way to trade. So, um, for me, I think the stress level in trading goes way down when you just look for the base hits, right? Um, take the small wins, and believe it or not, those will add up faster than you think um, to profitability. And this week was kind of a reminder of that, where it was an up and down week. I started off with a couple of small wins, then I took a few losses and got a couple of accounts went into drawdown. Um, but ended the week, you know, in profit on all of my accounts. There was no drawdown this week at the end of the week. And that's because, I started taking those 100, $200 wins and just taking the win when I got to that point, regardless of what I thought the market was going to do. And absolutely, I got out of my trades, some would say too early because price did continue in my direction and I could have made more money. But the feeling of ending the week with zero drawdown in any of my accounts was a very satisfying feeling. And, you know, that's not typically how I end up. I usually end up with one or two accounts in drawdown and then other accounts in profit. Um, and, you know, then I'm looking at it, well, am I really just kind of break even or, but I'm making progress in these accounts. I just got to work on these more. And it just makes things a, l- a little bit more stressful, a little bit more difficult, I believe, for me personally. Okay. Other people may be different in the way they think about their risk management for sure. Nobody has the same risk management strategy. I'm I'm just looking at reducing my stress level um, during the week and then having that satisfying feeling at the end of the week when all of my accounts have been profitable for the week. And I find that much easier to do when I'm taking, my typical risk in a trade. I trade 5 micros in a 50K account on any given trade. And I typically trade YM, but my dollar risk on any given trade is $125. So anytime I get above $125 in profit or a one-to-one, I'm happy to take that risk off the table if I believe that price could pull back on me, and price could pull back on you at any time. Also, I'm okay with a one-to-one because I know I'm going to have 2 to 3 uh, tradable events during a day, if not more. Okay. So I know I can wait for the best setups because I'll have several setups that I could play with. So let's just say, first trade of the day is a winner, and I make $125. I close it at a one-to-one. Well, now I'm in a position where I can take, I don't have to wait for the A plus setup. I can take an A setup or even a B plus setup um, with a little bit smaller size, say 2 to 3 micros. If it starts moving in my favor, I can bump it up, add to the trade and get to 5 micros um, without risking, the whole $125 profit that I've already made. I can risk a portion of that profit on a good setup, just not the best setup, and look to add to that profit for the day. And if I don't, okay, fine. Let's wait for the next A plus setup and take that. I still have some profit left on the day, and when I get the next A plus setup, I can go in with 5 micros and try to win that $125. And now I've combined the two, and hopefully at that point I'm up about $200, um, if not more. And you know, I trade with Top One Futures, and I have a couple of the new Ignite funded accounts because that special was running at $179. Um, I don't know if they're still on for the rest of the weekend or if they closed on. Let me just take a quick look um, to see because if it is still on, um, you definitely should go look out for it, and I will put a code down in the bottom. Um, let's see, Top One. I love these accounts. Yes, they are still on the board, but they said they were coming off at the end of the week, so probably this weekend is about um, the last time you're going to be able to get them, right? um, and the 50K accounts, this is straight to funded, no evals. Now the rules are a little bit different on these because you have a 15% consistency rule, which I know a lot of people are going to say that's way too tight. But if you're only looking to make 250 to $300 a day on these accounts, um, then you're going to be fine, and that's what I'm geared towards. Um, Your max payout on your first payout is $1,000 per account, and of course that's going to scale the more payouts you take. Um, so yeah, I mean for the price, you can't beat these accounts for a straight to funded. I mean you're not going to find a straight to funded 50K account anywhere for $179. It's end of day drawdown. It's not intraday, so that's fantastic. And you can have up to 6 of these accounts to copy trade, right? So, if you're able to take out $1,000 when you get to payout and you have 6 of these accounts, that's a $6,000 payout. Not too bad, all right? So I'll put the link to that special down in the description uh, of this video. And I am affiliated with Top One, so I do stand to make money if you choose to buy one of those accounts with my link. And I would appreciate if you did that you do use the link if you saw it here. Um, but do your own research on the account. You know, look through all the rules, look through the payout structures, um, look through the trading rules and the consistency rules and all of that. But if I'm only looking to make, you know, 200 to $300 a day, and actually I have my um, risk management on Project X, which is the platform that they have. They will be introducing Tradeovate soon, but I love Project X. You know, people give it a hard time because of the outage they recently had, but that wasn't a Project X outage. That was a Amazon Web Service outage that affected Project X and a lot of other things around the world as well. Um, so yeah, I love Project X, and it's set to where if I hit a $300 profit target, it closes my trades and locks me out of my account for the rest of the day. I can't give any of that back. Um, so I absolutely love the platform, and I love Top One Futures. I think they're a very solid company offering really good products, very fast payouts. Um, so definitely check them out again, and I would be extremely appreciative if you use the code, the link down in the description um, to go check them out. Um, but yeah, I think, you know, all in all, we do better as traders when our stress level doesn't have to raise. You know, when we don't get anxious when we're in a trade, we can sit back and relax and not have a problem with those trades. So, you know, and I'm set at, you know, a max daily loss uh, of $375. That gives me three trades. Okay. Now I would literally have to lose max loss for uh, 6 days in a row to blow my accounts, and that's just not gonna, you know, I'm not gonna say it's not gonna happen. We all, every trader goes through bad slumps, but with the way I trade, it's extremely unlikely that I'm going to lose max profit through 6 days in a row to blow my accounts. So I have myself set up with my risk management and my profit goals to where when I click the button to buy or sell, I don't worry about it. If I take the loss, I take the loss. It's not a problem. I know that I'm going to have these accounts for a long time. They're going to get to, uh, you know, the instant fundeds are going to get to pay out and the evals are going to get passed. So I was one of those traders for a long time that, you know, I wanted to make that $1,000 to $3,000 a day. Um, you know, and it was a great dream, and I did make some big money on some of the larger accounts that I was trading, and I did take payouts, and you know, but it was stressful. It really is stressful, and I think the way to go is taking these smaller 50K accounts, picking up several of them, um, if you can, you know, max out the amount that your uh, prop firm will let you take on accounts, and just copy trade them with really small risk. $125 a trade is great for me. Um, and look for those, you know, base hits. And before you know it, two or three trades into the day, you're at your max profit goal, $300. Um, you know, I mean, if you hit max profit goal 10 days in a row, which isn't hard to do if you are trading well and being patient, um, you know, you're at you're at a past evals or at uh, at a payout request uh, in 10 days. I mean, that's half a month of trading. Um, so, you know, I just, I used to be one of those where I want to make as much as I can every day, take as much out of the markets as I can get, and and make my money fast and make a lot of money fast. And I'm not saying it's impossible, but it is super hard. It really is. It can raise your stress levels, and life's just not enjoyable when you're stressed. I mean, we all know it. We've all go through it, not just in trading, but every other part of our life, right? So, you know, let's notch it down a little bit. Let's take that stress out of our lives so we can enjoy our days. We can enjoy when we're on the charts trading. Now I enjoy trading every day. I don't have to sit on the charts till 4 o'clock in the afternoon, but I will because I enjoy it. If I haven't made max profit and I'm reading the markets well and I'm being patient and I'm not getting that many setups, I'll stay on the market, I'll stay on the charts all day because I enjoy it. There's not the stress there anymore. And also, you know, you hear a lot from other traders talking about your mental capital, how it can wear out quickly. Well, it can, but I found for me personally, now that I'm just looking for those base hits, and I'm not as stressed when I'm in a trade because my risk management is good, and I'm trading correctly for the account size that I have, and I'm being patient for the right setups. When my stress level's down, my mental capacity can last all day on the charts. You know, I'm not sweating every bar. And so I'm able to stay calm and keep my mental capital um, from just falling off quickly, right? So yeah, I just wanted to stop in today and just have that little discussion because I think it's really important. And I've been on both sides of the coin. And for me personally, and I think that would apply to a lot of traders out there, especially new traders who have been, you know, uh, enticed by the big money traders out there on YouTube and social media to try to make as much as they can. You know, new trader might have the strategy that has an edge. They might have the discipline to wait for those setups, but they're just your stress level goes up when you're talking about uh, oversizing your account. So to get those big wins, quit worrying about the big wins. The money will come if you just take the base hits. And for me personally, that's the way to go. So um, glad everybody stopped by. I would be remiss if I didn't ask if you would like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment on what you think. How do you trade? You know, is it better on your mental side of trading and for your stress levels to take those base hits? Or are you good, um, oversizing an account and in a trade looking for that big money fast? Um, so let me know. And until Monday, which is the next day, because I'm recording this on a beautiful, beautiful Florida Saturday morning, uh, almost afternoon. Um, so I'm going to go out and hit some golf balls today and enjoy the rest of my day and be locked and loaded, ready for Monday to move my accounts closer to payout. So until then, everybody, I hope you enjoyed it. Stay blessed.